Hello, 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 hello. The stream is live back to TikTok. Hello, hello, hello there. Nice to see you all, people, and hope you enjoy what I'm trying to do. And so far, thank you guys for joining. This is the live stream channel. Let me just pull out the model really quick. I need this model. Right. Yep. So far, this is a model, but like, wait, I'm not trying to do this model right now. I'm just gonna fix the model. Right, guys, give me a minute. Hello, whoever is here. I also gotta give people the Discord link. I'm kind of not working. My brain is not working. Great, guys. So thank you, whoever is joined. I'm not sure who is in the call apparently, but if you want to help me out and give me some ideas, because this is not the final model, this is just like somebody want me to, and this one is rare. What I'm trying to make here is, and I swear, man, my bird does not talk that much. Like when I'm not live, man, like this thing's not gonna say anything. This is gonna sit quiet. Like, but like as soon as I go live, they gotta show their talent. Like they're trying to impress you guys, and they're showing their talent, that what they are capable of. Capable of. Disco, 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 gaming, bullshit, one. I wonder. Hey Gemini, so basically I made the model of a fish inside an blank block bench, no, not block bench, yeah, block bench, bedrock entity. Is that fine, right?
That is perfectly fine. In fact, making your fish as a bedrock entity in Blockbench is actually the pro way to do this for a fishing game. Since you made it as an entity rather than just a flat item, you have a lot more power. Here is why that was a good move and how it fits into your project. Why a bedrock entity is better. Physical size. Because it's an entity, you can use the /play animation or attribute commands to change its scale, making it big or small as we discussed. Movement, you can give it a float or flop animation in Blockbench so that when the player catches it, it actually moves on the ground. Interactions, you can make it so players have to interact, right click, with the entity to pick it up, which feels more like a real game than just an item popping into their inventory. Two things you should check in Blockbench. 1. The box UV. Make sure your textures aren't
Um, so apparently I see in view model issue it says the face east on the coast upper fence has invalid UV size. So what is UV size?
In 3D modeling, UV is like the wrapping paper for your model. Since your model is 3D but your texture is a 2D flat image, U and V are the coordinates, like X and Y, that tell Minecraft exactly which part of the image goes on which face of the cube. When Blockbench says you have an invalid UV size, it usually means the wrapping paper is bigger than the actual image, or it's sticking off the edge. Why this happens in Bedrock? Bedrock is very picky. In Java Edition, you can move UVs wherever you want, but in Bedrock, the UVs must stay within the dimensions of your texture file.
Okay, how about also like block, like when I'm making and creating a texture, what should be the pixel density?
For a Minecraft Bedrock entity, the picture density is known as the texture resolution. Since you are making a fishing game, you want the textures to look clean but also fit the Minecraft pixel art style. Here is how to choose the right density. 1. The standard 64 times 64. Most Minecraft entities, like pigs, cows, and even the player, use a 64 times 64 pixel canvas. Why use this? It is the correct look for Minecraft. It keeps the file size small and ensures your game won't lag, even if you have 50 fish spawning at once. Best for standard fish, small lures, and common items. 2. The high def HD look 128 times 128. If you want your big fish or Musa character to have more detail, like individual scales or glowing eyes, you can double the resolution. Why use this? It gives you 4x the total pixels to work with, allowing for smoother shading. Warning: if you go higher than 128 times 128, like 512 or 1024, the models will start to look blurry or out of place
Okay,
next to the
how
blocky environment.
so when I'm texturing it, like what should I how can I make it like look so good? Like and also how can I like save the color so I can go back and forth like in food, please.
To make your fish look pro and keep your colors organized, you can use a few specific techniques right inside Blockbench. 1. How to make it look good. The pro secrets. If you just paint a fish a solid color, it will look flat and fake. Professional Minecraft artists use shading and noise. The hue shifting trick. When you want to make a color darker, the shadows on the belly or under the fins, don't just move the slider toward black. Move the color wheel slightly toward blue or purple. When making it lighter, for the top of the fish, move it toward yellow. This makes the colors look alive. Edge highlighting. Paint the very top edges of your fish with a slightly lighter version of your main color. This makes the blocky shape pop in the game's lighting. Gradient texturing. Make the top of the fish darker and the belly lighter. This is called counter shading. Real fish have this to hide from predators. The noise tool. In the Blockbench paint tab, there is a tool that looks like a spray can or a grainy box. Use it with a very low opacity, 10 to 20%, to add slight variations to the scales so it's not just one perfect boring color. 2. How to save your colors, the palette. You don't want to guess what color you used 10 minutes ago. You need to use the palette window. Saving a color. When you find a color you like on the color wheel, look for the plus icon in the palette panel, usually on the bottom left or right of the paint screen. This pins the color to your board. The eyedropper. While in paint mode, hold Alt on Windows and click anywhere on your model. It will instantly grab that exact color so you can go back and forth between the scales, the eyes, and the fins. Organizing. You can actually right-click colors in your palette to rename them, e.g. Musa Fish Pep.
What about brushing?
In 3D texturing, brushing refers to the actual technique of applying color to your pixels. In Blockbench, it's not just clicking a bucket, it's how you build up depth and detail. Since you're working on a fish, you can use different brush settings to make the scales look more natural or the fins look translucent. 1. The core brush settings. When you have the brush tool selected, look at the top bar for these 3 settings. Size. For a 64x64 texture, a size of 1 is usually best for precise pixel art. A size of 2 or 3 is good for filling in larger areas like the body. Opacity. This is the secret sauce. If you set opacity to 100%, it paints solid color. If you set it to 30%, the color is see-through. Tip. Use low opacity to slowly build up shadows or to blend the color of the fins into the body. Softness. In Minecraft's pixel-style art, you usually want softness at 0%. This keeps your pixels sharp. High softness makes the edges blurry, which often looks dirty in-game. 2. Brushing techniques for fish. Stippling, the noise look. Instead of dragging the brush, tap it repeatedly with a slightly different color. This creates a scaly texture without you having to draw every single scale. Layering. Paint the base color first. Then lower your brush opacity and use a darker shade to brush along the bottom of the fish. This creates a 3D shadow effect even when the sun isn't hitting it. The dithering pattern. This is a classic pixel art move. Instead of a solid line between 2 colors, create a checkerboard pattern where they meet. It tricks the eye into seeing a smooth transition. 3. Using the paintbrush versus paint bucket. Paint bucket. Use this to base coat your cubes instantly. Paintbrush. Use this for the details. Pro tip. If you want to paint only on one specific cube without accidentally hitting the one behind it, select that cube in the outliner on the right. Blockbench will lock your brushing to just that part. 4. Important. The draw shape tool. Sometimes you don't want a freehand brush. If you want a perfectly straight line for a racing stripe on your fish, use the draw shape tool set to line. If you want a perfectly round eye, use the draw shape tool set to circle. It's much cleaner than trying to hand paint a circle with a mouse. 5. Erasing and correcting. The eraser is just as important as the brush. In Bedrock, if you erase a pixel, it becomes transparent. This is great for fins. You can brush some transparency into the edges of the tail to make it look thin and watery. How does the upper fence part look now that you're texturing it? Is the brush helping you hide those UV seams?
Little bit. So. I'm a living proof that you exist.
I just get so nervy.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh god, that city just to make it lower more. Why does it look so messy? Um, but you are. You did that or you did that? Why is it? Why is? Not saying I just wanna know, cause I don't know why people do that. Yeah, people in your person said they like it. Just हेलो
आया विकी मोहम्मद
नहीं
हाँ तो भूल गए शायद तो उनके घर जाओ तो एक बॉक्स ले जाना
अच्छा I Hey Jamana, do you know how do I go and forward in uh if I did something wrong? And
If you've made a mistake while painting or modeling in Blockbench, don't worry. There are a few ways to time travel and fix it without starting over. 1. A quick fix, undo/redo. This is your best friend when a brush stroke goes wrong. Go backward, undo. Press Ctrl plus Z. This will undo your last action.
okay, so I have a flat plane, and basically I want the scales, but like I do not want the other part of the block here.
This is a classic 3D modeling trick. What you're looking for is transparency, or alpha clipping. You want the 3D plane to exist, but you want the corners of the block to be invisible, so only the fish scales show up. Here is how to do that in Blockbench for a bedrock entity. 1. The eraser method, creating the shape. In Minecraft Bedrock, any part of a texture that is empty, transparent, will not be rendered in the game. Go to the Paint tab. Select the Eraser tool. Erase the blank parts of the plane around your scales. Even though the cube or plane is still a square in Blockbench, in Minecraft, it will look like a floating set of scales because the empty pixels are invisible. 2. Check your material settings. For the transparency to work correctly in-game, the model needs to know how to handle invisible pixels. In the Textures panel on the left, right-click your texture.
But also, so like, is there like a way where I can like remove like whatever its color that and like erase it? Because I do not want to drag over the same thing, like like I wanna pick a color and remove it.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. In Blockbench, you don't have to manually paint over every pixel to change or remove a color. You can use selection tools or color filtering to target one specific color and deal with it all at once. Here are the 3 best ways to do this. 1. The color picker selection, the magic wand. If you want to select every pixel of a specific color to delete or change them. In the Paint tab, look for the selection tool. It usually looks like a dashed square or a magic wand. Look at the tool options at the top and select Color Mode. Click on the color on your model that you want to remove. Blockbench will now highlight every pixel that uses that exact color. To remove, press Delete on your keyboard. They will all turn transparent instantly. To change, while they are selected, pick a new color and use the paint bucket. It will only fill the selected pixels. 2. The paint bucket color replace. If you just want to swap color A for color B without erasing, select the paint bucket tool. In the tool settings at the top, change the fill mode from area to color. Now when you click a pixel, it won't just fill the neighboring pixels, it will change every single pixel of that color on your entire texture at once. 3. Use the alpha channel, transparency. Since you mentioned you have a flat plane and don't want the other part of the block showing, make sure you are using the eraser tool with 100% opacity. If you have a solid color background you want to get rid of, use the paint bucket set to color mode, as mentioned above, but hold shift or look for the transparent color option in your palette. Clicking the color will fill it with transparency, effectively deleting it. Pro tip for not drawing over. If you are worried about accidentally painting over your beautiful scales while working on the background, lock the pixels. Blockbench has a lock alpha button, looks like a small checkerboard icon in the paint panel. If you turn this on and, you can only paint on pixels that already have color. You won't be able to accidentally draw into the transparent areas. If you turn it off, you can draw new shapes into the empty space. Summary of shortcuts. Task. Shortcut/tool. Select all of one color. Magic wand. Color mode. Delete selected pixels. Delete key. Swap one color for another. Paint bucket. Color mode. Pick a color from the model. Hold Alt plus click. This should save you from having to trace around your scales. Just select the color you hate and hit delete. Did that clear out the extra parts of the block for you?
Okay, so I have one more thing. So I basically painted the scale, but apparently, when I go to the other side, the scale on that side is not painted.
That's a common Blockbench thing. It happens because by default, the texture is only painted on one side of your plane or cube. To fix that, you have a couple of options.
What are the options?
Sure. First, you could just duplicate the part you've already painted, flip it around, and put it on the other side. Second, you could
How
mirror
can
the
I wait? How can I duplicate it?
To duplicate it, you just select the part you want to copy and press Ctrl D on your keyboard. Then you can move that new copy where you need it. Does that make sense?
Okay, I did that, but apparently there is already an place there, and like it's not like if I click it, it's just there, like like basically look. So what I wanted to do is I want to copy this and I want to put it up here, but like I want to remove the blue part here.
I see what you mean. You want to reuse that scale pattern on a different part of your model. Since you're in the Paint tab, you can use the Selection tool to grab those pixels representing the scales. Then just copy and paste them, move them up to the top part like you were saying, and then delete the old blue part. Do you want me to walk you through
How
how
would
to
I
select them?
delete the part? Blue part.
So to delete that blue part, first, just make sure you're on the Paint tab in Blockbench. Then look for the Selection tool. It looks like a dashed square, usually on the left. Once you've clicked that, go ahead and drag a box around all those blue pixels. After they're selected, you should just be able to press delete on your keyboard to remove them. Did that work?
Nope, it did not delete it.
That's strange. When you press delete, did anything happen at all? Like, did the blue pixels remain highlighted, or did the selection box just disappear? Also, are you sure you have the right layer selected in the textures panel?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, if you're on the right layer, maybe try using the magic wand selection tool instead of dragging a box. It might pick up those blue pixels better. Sometimes if the pixels are partially transparent, the regular box selection won't grab them. Can you try that now?
Oh, magic wand.
Yeah, the magic wand selection tool, it usually looks like a little wand with sparkles around it. You might have to cycle through different selection modes to find it. Once you've clicked it, just click on the blue part of your image and it should select all those pixels at once. Ready to give it a shot?
Okay, how do I do that?
On the left side of Blockbench, in the toolbar, look for the selection tool and click the small arrow. From there, select the magic wand option. Now just click anywhere on the blue part of your texture and all those pixels should get selected. Then you can press delete. Does that work for you?
Okay, one more time. Yeah, I picked the with color picker.
Got it. Since you grabbed it with the color picker, you can now just press delete on your keyboard and that blue part should be gone.
Nope,
Did that work for you this
it
time?
didn't delete. Magic wand picker, where is that? How does that look like?
If deleting isn't working, let's try replacing the blue color instead. Grab the paint bucket tool from the toolbar. Then in its settings at the top, change the fill mode from area to color. Now pick a transparent color in your palette, it usually looks like a checkerboard, and click anywhere on the blue part. That will replace all the blue pixels with transparency.
Where is checkerboard? I don't see checkerboard.
Ah, right. The checkerboard is how Blockbench shows transparency. In your palette window, there should be a color swatch that looks like a small grey and white square. Click that one, then click on the blue part of your texture with the paint bucket. Can you spot it now?
Nope. Let me show you my screen.
I see your screen now. In the color palette, look for that grey and white square I mentioned. It usually signifies transparency. Once you find it, select it, and then we can use the paint bucket tool. Can you see it there?
Which one? Do you see this?
I do see your screen, though I don't see the checkerboard pattern in your palette. But if you look directly below the numbers near the top middle of the screen, where the brown scale pattern is, you'll see that checkerboard pattern there. That area represents transparency. Are you able to click on it?
Where is it?
Look right above the brown scale pattern in the UV editor on your screen. You should see that checkerboard pattern there. It's a mix of small grey and white squares. That's the spot that represents transparency. Can you see it now?
Wait, you mean this one?
Exactly. That's the checkerboard pattern I mean. Since you have the paint bucket selected, clicking on that area will replace all the blue pixels with that transparency, making them invisible. Go ahead and try that now.
How would I try that?
Well, you have the paint bucket tool selected now. Make sure the fill mode in the top bar is set to color. Then go ahead and click anywhere on that grey and white checkerboard pattern you found. That will make the whole blue part transparent. Do you want to give that a shot?
You know what? I should just erase the blue part. Is this even textured?
Erasing the blue part is another option. If you select the
I
eraser
can't
tool,
even erase the blue part.
that is frustrating. If the eraser isn't working, double check that you don't have Lock Alpha turned on. It's a small checkerboard icon in the paint panel. If that's off, sometimes restarting Blockbench can clear up little glitches like this. Would you try that now?
Where's the lock palette? I don't know how.
The icon I'm thinking of is right in the middle of the paint panel, above the color palette. It looks like a little checkerboard. If it's clicked in, it locks the transparent parts, so you can try unclicking it. Does that look like what was on your screen?
I do not see it.
If you're on the Paint tab, look near the top of the panel on the right. There should be a toolbar with different tool icons, and right below that is where the Lock Alpha button usually sits. It looks like a small grey and white checkerboard icon. Are you able to spot it now?
I'm not sure why it is. No, but look, this side is I can paint in this side, but the other side of the cube I cannot paint in it.
Okay,
I can paint, but I cannot erase this blue part.
Right. If you can't erase that blue part, but you can paint elsewhere, try painting it over with a transparent color instead of using the eraser. In the Paint tab, select the Paint Bucket tool, set the fill mode to color, then pick that grey and white checkerboard pattern in your palette, and click on the blue. That should make it invisible. Does that work?
No, but why cannot erase it?
That usually happens because of a setting or a small glitch in Blockbench. Since you can paint on one side but not the other, sometimes the model is set to only be paintable on one face, or maybe you have a locked layer. Painting with transparency is a quicker way to
Okay,
make it
how do I paint it with the transparency then?
Just click anywhere on that grey and white checkerboard pattern we saw earlier, like I've highlighted here. That's the spot that represents transparency.
Okay, how can I reset it? Like, not reset it when like.
If by reset you mean you want that blue color to come back, you can just press Ctrl Z on your keyboard.
No, not like that. Like, where I reset the Blockbench.
I understand. If you mean you want to reset Blockbench to its default settings, you can usually find that in the program's Preferences or Settings menu. That will clear out things like custom layouts and shortcuts. Is that what you're trying to do?